Hey, welcome back. Today, we're getting into something that shapes your entire life. The fact that you and I and everyone else live inside a private reality that our brain builds just for us. It's a unique bubble, and it defines literally everything we experience.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Look around the room right now. The things you see, the sounds you hear, is that the real world? Or is it just your version of it? The thing is, our senses are only picking up a tiny, tiny fraction of what's actually out there. What we call reality is a carefully filtered and deeply personal show put on by our brain. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to define what this unique perceptual world really is. Then we'll dive into the literal maps inside your brain that create it. We'll see how what you feel is tied to what you can do, check out the crazy realities of other animals, and then, this is the big one, we'll see how modern technology is designed to interact with and even hijack these ancient brain systems. Okay, let's get into it. Our whole journey starts with this one brilliant German word that honestly changes how you see everything. That word is Umwelt. Now, the key word here, the absolute most important word, is experienced. The Umwelt is not the environment in all its objective glory. No, it's the world as it's filtered through what a body can actually sense and what it can actually do. It's only the bits of the world that matter for that creature's survival. To really get this, let's look at a few examples. For a tick, the world is, well, it's pretty empty. It's just waiting for two things: the heat and the smell of a mammal passing by. That's it. A sea urchin, its world is a flow of chemical signals and changes in water pressure. And then there's us. Our own world is this incredibly rich, complicated tapestry of light, sound, pressure, and of course, all those complex social signals. And get this isn't just some high-minded philosophical idea. Your Umwelt is physically written into the folds of your brain. There is a literal geography of your perception laid out right across your cerebral cortex. Okay, let's start with your eyes. Way at the back of your head, in your occipital lobe, there's a map of your visual world. But it's a really weird-looking map. Whatever you're looking at right now, the very center of your gaze, is getting a massive, totally disproportionate amount of your brain's processing power. That specific spot gets a huge chunk of cortical real estate, while everything in your periphery gets way less. This is literally why your central vision is so clear and detailed. And this quote just nails it. These maps in our heads, they aren't just quirky side effects of our biology. They are the biological blueprint for our subjective reality. They physically determine what we notice, what we ignore, and what actually matters to us. Now let's switch to touch. Up in the parietal lobe, you've got the map for your sense of touch. And if you were to draw a person based on how much brain space each body part gets, well, you'd get this bizarre, distorted little creature called a homunculus. It has these enormous hands and massive lips, but a tiny little back and skinny legs. It looks totally wild, but it perfectly explains why a tiny paper cut on your finger feels like a major injury, while you might not even notice a scrape on your back. It's all about the map. And guess what? It's the exact same story with hearing. Inside your temporal lobes, your brain organizes sound by pitch. Low frequencies trigger neurons on one side, high frequencies on the other, all laid out in perfect orderly stripes. It's literally like a piano keyboard is spread across the surface of your brain. This tonatopic map is what lets you pick out a friend's voice in a noisy room. So we have these detailed maps for seeing, feeling, and hearing. But here's where it gets really interesting. Perception isn't a one-way street. It's totally tied to action. And the brain's own geography shows us this incredible connection. Right next door to the map for touch, literally they are neighbors, is a corresponding map for movement, the primary motor cortex. What the body feels is physically located right next to what the body can do. This means our perception of the world is this constantly coupled picture of what we feel and what we can do about it. It's a seamless feedback loop between sensing and acting. Okay, so if this is how our brains are wired, what does it tell us about other animals? Well, this whole idea of cortical geography is the key to understanding why different species, even in the exact same physical place, are living in completely different worlds. Just look at a bat. Its brain dedicates a huge amount of space in its auditory cortex to processing super high-frequency sounds, which is exactly what it needs for echolocation. A rodent? Its brain blows up the map for its whiskers, because that's its main tool for feeling its way through the dark. For every species, the part of the brain that gets magnified becomes its super sense. The brain's map literally builds that animal's Umwelt. So what does all this mean for us, right now, living in a world filled with smartphones and screens? It means our ancient brain geography, these maps that evolved over millions of years, are now the main battleground for our attention. They are the medium for both support and for capture. I mean, just think about your phone for a second. You know that little blue arrow on your GPS map? It's not there by accident. It's designed to fall right into the center of your gaze, perfectly targeting that magnified, high-resolution spot on your visual map. That specific ding from a notification? It's engineered to create a sharp, unmissable spike of activity on your auditory map. And that little buzz in your hand? That's a direct tap into the enormous sensory map dedicated to your fingertips. Now, look, sometimes this stuff is genuinely helpful, but when these signals are exaggerated, when they're made too bright, too loud, too frequent, they become something else entirely. They become what the source calls industrial lures. They're signals perfectly engineered to just flood the same exact strips of our cortical maps over and over, effectively hijacking our attention mechanisms. So this gives us a whole new lens, a really powerful way to look at our own world. We can actually start to read our modern Umwelt and ask a simple question. Are the things around me designed to help me, or are they designed to trap me? Let's compare two things. Think about a well-designed hallway. It feels readable, right? That's because its lines and shapes project cleanly onto our visual maps, and the doorways and handles match up with what our action maps know about walking and grabbing. Now, compare that to a social media feed. It's designed to be stupefying, to keep our sensory maps in a constant state of restless churn, so that the slower, deeper parts of our brain never get a chance to put together a coherent picture of the world. And that really brings us back to the most crucial point of all. Your Umwelt is not some poetic metaphor, it's a concrete biological reality. It is a specific physical geography of maps and gradients laid out across your brain that defines the entire universe of what is real for you. So I want to leave you with this one question. As you go about your day, start looking at the world through this lens of cortical geography. Look at the apps on your phone, the layout of your office, the design of your city, and ask yourself, is this environment designed to support me, to work with the natural maps of my brain? Or is it full of industrial lures designed simply to capture me? The answer to that question defines the quality of your own private reality.